Good morning, students. Today I am going to start our new chapter, that is change and development in rural society. First of all, students, it's request to you that please go through the chapter. You have to learn the chapter. Question answer, it's okay. I will give all the question answer, but for MCQs and the short question answer, you need to read the whole chapter. The main point of the chapter is agriculture, because rural society means it's related to agriculture. How agriculture is related to festivals, agriculture and culture, agriculture and social structure, types of land holdings, participations of women in agriculture, all like that. So India is basically a rural society. It is called the land of villages. It is called the land of village. Our economy stands on the agriculture. Still now, the farmers, agriculture is not only an occupation but a way of life. Because why? Because India is a agricultural country. Most of the populations are engaged in agriculture related work. This country has a unity in diversity. All of you knows that different regions and states have different features. For example, like Rajasthan is vibrant, famous for colored clothes and spicy food. Punjab is famous for its fertile land, like that. Now, how agriculture is related to our festivals. And all of you knows that festivals is related to our cultural part. Like some of the festivals like Pongal. You heard the term Pongal, Bhogi, Sankranti are to do with harvest and fall in the months of January in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. Baishakhi is always a harvesting festivals, is the harvest season in Punjab. They are maintaining or they are performing Baishakhi as a harvest festival in Punjab. Now I told you that how agriculture is related to culture. All food, whatever we are taking, festivals and clothes are connected to the land. Right? The main agricultural occupations are like carpenters, potters, artisans, etc. With the coming of globalization, students listen carefully, with the coming of globalization, many occupations have been introduced in schools, teachers, hospital, nurses, doctors, post and telegraphs. Many factories have been coming up and rural people provide labor there. Because due to agricultural depression or the inavailability of the resources or inavailability of money, the farmers are moving to the cities for the sake of jobs. So it destroy their culture, because in the time of that particular occasion they are in their job. not in the villages. Now, how agriculture and social structures are related? Listen, it's depend upon land holding, amount of land a person holds. Suppose a person have lots of lands, lots of agricultural cultivated fields, he or she is known as a powerful or the richer person. There is unequal distribution of land also. Some people have lots of lands, and some peoples don't have any. So the agriculture structure is how the land holdings have been distributed among people. And this situation is create social disturbances, inequality, etc. So now we are discussing about what? Land. The land holdings. Now types of land holdings. 4 types. Large land owners, medium landowners or small landowners, marginal landowners and landless landowners, tenants. So 5 types of landholdings are: number 1, large landowners; number 2, medium landowners or small landowners; number 3, marginal landowners; and number 4, landless landowners and tenants. Who are the large landowners? Own large amount of land, earlier known as jamidars. Okay, jamidars have lots of lands. They known as large landowners. Number 2, medium landowners have small amount of land. Okay, have small amount of land and can make a profit. Marginal landowners. Who are the marginal landowners? These, along with small family, grow just enough for consumption of their family and do not have enough land to get surplus to sell in the market. Actually, those in our country, marginal landowner is more than the medium or large landowners, because peoples are grow the fruits, not only the fruits, grow their or cultivate the land for only their family purpose. Family purpose. After their fulfillment, they don't have any surplus to sell in the market. This kind of landowners is known as marginal landowners. Next, who are the landless landowners? Have no land of their own. They are work for others. They are work for others. For the work, they get money or the wheat or rice or anything like that. So they known as landless landowners. Now tenants. Who are the tenants? Take land on rent. Take land on rent and give the landowner a share of the profit. That is tenants. Now I said that agriculture. Now in agricultural society or in the agriculture, how women is related? Women position is low, very much low. They cannot own land. They have equal property rights as the son, but they are women or they are scared to voice their oppose. That's why another term is coming out. What, student, can you guess? Gender discrimination. From these types of attitude or from these types of mentality, gender stratification or gender inequality is coming out. Now, class and caste structure in rural areas. Because everyone knows very well that caste system is very much prominent or very much give importance in rural areas also. How class and caste structure in rural area, it's interrelated. First of all, it's interrelated. Upper caste were considered to be upper class. Always they are upper class. If they did any mistake, again they are upper class. But the issues in rural areas is complex. Who is the upper caste? Brahmins. Brahmins are the topmost caste, but not necessarily the wealthiest. The Kshatriya are upper caste as well as upper class also. Why? Students, I told you earlier that upper caste, it doesn't mean that they are the dominant caste or the dominant class. Dominant means if their memberships are very strong, then they become dominant. Then they can say that no, we are the dominant. But here, class and caste are very much interrelated in rural society. Brahmin are the topmost caste, but not necessarily the wealthiest. The Kshatriyas are upper caste as well as they are upper class also. Next term is coming out, that is dominant caste. After independence, land reforms introduced land selling. It set a limit of land holding by each individual. Large landowners sold away their land to medium landowners as they moved to urban areas to set up factories. Is this a main view? What the view? Those who are the large landowners, they sell their lands and they move to urban areas to set up factories. So from the rural areas, these landowners will get the raw materials for their factories production. Okay. Next, another upper caste, rich people, large and medium landowners control the resource and labor force, that is particular areas. Next, you heard the term that is Zamindari system. I told you earlier also who are the Zamindars. Now the Zamindari system is what? Zamindars collected the kind like rice, wheat, sugarcane, etc. as tax for the farmer of the village. Whatever you are growing, you have to give to the Zamindar as a tax. Understood? For maximum exploitation of farmers, Zamindars collected extra taxes. Now, Rayatwari system. One member of the family, I want to say that the joint family, was selected to collect the tax from the family and give it to the British. This Rayatwari system was invented by the Britisher. One member of the family, same family, by the family member, was selected to collect the tax from the family and give it to the British. There was some exploitation, but very less. It was very successful in some areas. Why successful? Can you imagine it? Anyone knows? Because they are those who are the tax collector. They are the same family member, same joint family member. So family members, they cannot ignore to give the taxes. That's why the Raitwari system is a successful in some areas in our country. Next, another term, that is Mahalwari system. What is this? Headman of the village collect the tax, not by the family member. Headman of the village collected the tax. It was much better than Jamidari system. There were 3 problems the minister often faced. Number 1, poverty. Number 2, imported grains. Number 3, less productivity. Poverty and less productivity was during colonial period, and imported grain was after independence. They came up with land reforms to solve those problems as well as to ensure social justice. After independence, the gap between the rich and poor was very large, because it's very natural that those who are the landowners, they are giving more taxes or tax, whatever the tax it is, they are giving it in proper time. But those who are the landless worker or those who have less productivity, they are not able to give the tax at proper time. That in that situation, one dependency is coming out. What? Poverty. Less productivity was during colonial period, and imported grain was after independence. They came up with land reforms to solve these problems as well as to ensure social justice. When these types of situation was taken up a huge amount, then the Britishers think that no, now we have to do the land reform movement. And through the land reform movement, abolition of Jamidari system, intermediary system was abolished. The exploitation of farmers by Jamidars lead to a lot of problems. The first land reform introduced was the farmers would directly pay their tax to the government, not any intermediate. Land selling also, productive land, low selling, unproductive, high. A limit as to how much land a person could own. If a farmer had 300 areas of land, 80 areas were given to the small marginal farmers, as 220 was the limit. The government imposed upper limit on the amount of land a person can own. Selling varied region to region, dependency upon how fertile the land is. Suppose one farmer got very small part of land or very small amount of land, but this land is not fertile, then what will happen? So land selling varies region to region and depending upon how fertile the land is. In a productive area, there was low selling limit. More land was taken from farmers. It was a big task for the government to visit each region and judge the selling according to facility level or according to their fertile level. In some areas it was successful, but not so in some areas due to Benami transfer. The landlord wanted land to himself. Thus, he would put the land in the name of the woman, accountant, distant relative. Only on paper it was so, but actually he owned the land. So, all this about the land selling structure in our society. Students, that's all for today. Next, we will discuss about land reforms in the time of colonial period, tenancy reform and green revolution. Thank you.